All right, so we are live. Welcome, welcome, everyone. So excited to have you guys here today, and so sorry we are like 1 minute behind. But I was literally, and I was going to come live in a cafe, but then I thought, what happens if it's too loud? Never tried it before. So instead, we're coming live from my new spot out in the valley. Nevertheless, I am so excited today because there's this beautiful thing about photography that happened many years ago, and it was the introduction of drones. And along that journey, you started to see all these amazing videography that was happening out of it. And I've been praying and wanting to align with someone that would be able to show us the ropes on exactly what all that meant. So today I have the amazing Christine Lozada with us. She is the travel creator behind Where in the World is CL? And if you haven't already pre-checked her stuff out, I highly recommend that when you're done with this, you're going to want to check out her Instagram, her YouTube, just get all up in her stuff because her content is that dope. So she started flying drones in January of 2020 to capture new perspectives and was hooked. She has flown every single day since and was inspired to become a certified drone pilot. How dope is that? How sexy is that? She passed with 95% and became passionate about encouraging others to, especially women, to fly drones. So she is here today and she's about to give y'all the lowdown on exactly how to do it, get yourself started. So feel free in the chat box as we go along to ask any questions so that we can get them on the screen and she'll get them answered so it'll be more interactive. So without further ado, Christine, take it over, girl. This is your stage.
Oh, Charisma, I love you, girlfriend. I am so excited to be talking to this community today. It's going to come out real fast that I am insanely excited about drones. And this is not really a presentation. This is what I would call more of a workshop. And I have my eye on the chat, and I'll also have, I don't want to call it a presentation, I'll call it pretty pictures with some words to help tell a story. But this is all for you guys. So I am watching the chat. Feel free to jump in as you please. But one of the things, oh, thank you. One of the things that I think is really important that Charisma said is that I have been flying a drone since January 2020. In other words, that wasn't that long ago. It wasn't that long ago, and I've come a very, very, very long way with my drone very fast. And in today's chat, I really want to talk to you about how you can get into it too, and how you can get as good as I am really, really quickly. And so it says I'm sharing my screen, but it doesn't really seem like I'm sharing my screen. So someone tell me what you see, because I would love for you to actually see what I'm chatting about.
Yes. So go ahead. Can you still hear me?
I sure can.
So go ahead and try to share your screen again because I didn't see it pop up on my end. So I can actually, there we go.
Oh, all right.
There
Oh,
we
that's exciting. Hey, that's me, in case you didn't recognize me. All right, let's talk about it. And you know what? This is actually where I want to start. If anyone has heard me talk about drones before, I'd love to hear it in the chat. And I would also love to hear in the chat if you have flown a drone before, if you have a drone, etc. And so today I'm going to be talking about like, why do you need a drone? And I'm going to talk about it from a perspective of both as a travel creator, but also as a traveler. Because in my mind, it's not just travel creators, it's not just professional photographers that need drones, it's everybody. If you travel and you love to see the world, you likely will want a drone. And I'm going to talk to you about what drones have done for me in this very short period of time I've been flying and what I think they can do for you, as well as one of the reasons why I'm really passionate about talking about how to fly drones and making it really easy is because for some reason, there is this misperception out there that drones are really, really hard, that they're complicated, that they're scary, that it's really easy to do illegal things. And you know what? There's actually a lot that is much more simple than you think. And so I love that, Simone. And I'm going to talk about how to get started as well as a gajillion resources that I have. So that's where we're headed today in this conversation. And again, I love it, a little vanity. Ooh, you have a drone, but you don't fly it as often. So actually in the last 7 days, if anyone looks at my Instagram, you'll know that I've been in Bonaire. Bonaire is in the Dutch Caribbean, and I flew my drone 6 times a day, every day, at least. And so that's the level in which I'm flying my drone. I love to get out there and fly. So there's a couple party rules that I want you guys to know. One is, again, I have my eye on the chat, so please ask questions. I am going to imagine all of your beautiful faces. So please use the chat and just chill, like chill. A lot of people, when they hear the word drone, it's associated with a lot of negative things. The word drone is often associated with things like bomb or things like spying or things like fill in the blank, right? So chill. This is going to be a fun conversation. And please connect with me. I would love to hear from you, especially if you have questions that you think of later. I am a human being. I do respond in the DMs of Instagram, etc. I'm all for it, and you'll know by the end of the hour that I love to talk about drones. I love flying drones. And so I am here to break the myths around drones. And there's something else that's really important for me to talk about with you guys. Actually, I'm going to skip to this slide really quick. And this is pulled from the Color Me World community. And one of the reasons why I wanted to reach out to Charisma, and it was really important to me, is because drones and flying drones has been one of the most empowering things I have done in 2020 and 2021. For me, flying a drone is about freedom. And you'll start to hear this around like how I travel and how I discover the world with my drone. But one other thing is that when I have been learning to fly my drone, I've been using a lot of like online resources. I've been watching a lot of other YouTube videos. And I just want you to imagine what kind of people are currently teaching about drones. In other words, there's not a lot of women, and there's not a lot of women who look like me who are talking about and teaching about drones. And you might not know this, but 6.7% of all drone pilots, and yes, I am a certified drone pilot, and we'll get into it. You don't have to be a certified drone pilot to fly a drone, but 6.7% of pilots are female. That number is really, really tiny, which is why I felt obligated to come forward and share with people how easy it is to fly drones and why you need to get into it, because no one like me or looks like me is talking about it today. And so it was really, really important to me. So I just wanted to give that quick background before we really dig into things. And Simone, I'm going to get to your question in just a second, because actually that's an important one. So some of the things that I do today, and we'll recap this at the end, but I just want to give you a little taste and preview of what's out there. So I do YouTube tutorials, and I just started building this. I have 40 videos today that break it down from, oh my gosh, what drone should I start with? Okay, I got my drone. Like, how do I really like get good, to advanced techniques? And I have, you can kind of see in the background, I currently own 3 drones today. It's about to be, oh, that's not true. I currently own 3 drones today. It's about to be 2, and then it's going to go back to 3, because I've decided to give away my Mavic Air 2, which is a fantastic drone. This is my most favorite drone, but I didn't want to just sell it. I'm actually giving it away to someone. And the contest is open for 1 more week. So you'll see on this page a lot of the resources I talk about, as well as a free download of some of my favorite drone shots, and also info about my giveaway, as well as a lot of the drones I'm going to talk about in today's chat. So just know that this is there for you, and I will reference it. I will reference back to it again later. But I'm trying to find a new home for my drone. I don't just want to sell it. I want to give it to someone who will capture the world in the same way that I have, which I would love to hear in the chat. Why? Why do you travel? Like, if you just think about like the reasons why you go and travel, I would love to hear in the chat why you travel. And for me, one of the reasons that I travel is around discovery. And you'll see, I chase beaches around the world because I love to explore the land. The picture on the left is in Zanzibar. The picture in the middle, I love to explore the ocean. So I'm snorkeling in this picture, but I spent the last 7 days in Bonaire scuba diving almost 4 times a day, which is a lot. I love to explore the ocean. And now I have a new way of discovering the places that I travel to from the sky. James, I love that, to create memories. So if you look at this picture, it's pretty underwhelming. If you recognize where I'm at, I would be impressed. I'm in Queens. This is in Queens, New York, taken over the 4th of July weekend, actually. And so I love that, Simone, to explore different cultures. So I took this picture in Queens, and when you look at the park, there is nothing going on. But exactly where I'm at, 200 feet up, you can capture the sun setting over the New York City skyline. And without my drone, I would never have been able to discover this beautiful, beautiful view. Another example, again, underwhelming photo. This is me with another drone pilot, Kate. We are in Brooklyn, actually. We're sitting right here underneath this tree because that's the only shade. It was 93 degrees that day. I love that positivity to experience new things. And behind us is kind of like this junkyard. But I would never have known, and you can see this picture on my Instagram, that just on the other side of us, there is a boat graveyard. And so an example of discovery while I'm traveling would be, whoa, like I had no idea there was a boat graveyard in Brooklyn. If you knew that, tell me in the chat. But that inspired me in that moment to be like, oh my gosh, I'm going to go over to Wikipedia. Like, why is there a drone, or why is there a boat graveyard in Brooklyn? And it was so cool because now I discovered this new thing about a place that I'm at, and I'm able to experience it and appreciate it a little bit deeper than before. Here's another example. How many sharks do you see in this picture? A lot. And I'm really only about 100 yards from where all of these sharks at, sitting on the beach. And I would never have known that a black tip shark migration was happening in Jupiter, Florida, which is in South Florida. I would never have known that this was happening. I would just be looking at a beautiful, very beautiful beach, but I wouldn't know that all this activity was happening. And on this day, I didn't know, like this, sharks like to jump out of the water. That's pretty freaking cool. And so that's another example of, wow, I'm able to discover new things when I'm traveling that I would never have been able to see unless I had an eye in the sky. A little vanity. I love your reason for travel culture. Another one. How many people like to travel with other people, right? I love to travel with other people. I'll be honest, 90% of my travel is by myself. Oh, and if you look at my Instagram today, I posted me, my selfie, and I. In other words, a drone shot, which is me 3 times in the photo. And I give away, again, on my YouTube channel, I'm all about helping people to fly drones, how to get and edit that shot just using your iPhone. So group photos is a really great one with a drone because there's never like a squeeze closer together or like move a little further back. It's like you just move the drone and it's the easiest thing to get a selfie. And so I love using my drone to take group photos. Another reason why, whether you're a traveler or a travel creator, it's so much fun to capture our travels with our phones or cameras or video cameras to tell a story about where you were. And so an example of that, and again, I love taking normal photos. This is a selfie of me using my GoPro of it. Does anyone recognize where this is at? If you don't know, this is Diamond Head, the famous hike in Oahu, which is beautiful. And going back to one of the questions that was in the chat around like knowing about whether it's legal to fly in different places, one of the things that, and we'll get into this a little bit more later, that DJI, the company that makes these very consumer-friendly drones, they make it so easy to understand if you're doing something bad. They will tell you like, hey, there's airplanes in this area, don't fly here. Hey, there's military activity nearby. Hey, NASA has a rocket right over there. Please don't launch your drone. And not only that, your drone won't even lift off the ground because it knows you're right next to that freaking rocket. So those are different examples, and we'll get into more later, about how they make it easy for you to know if it's like, cool, good to go, or like, don't fly here. In this example, you'll get a drone warning that says, this is a national park. This is a volcanic crater that is protected by the state of Hawaii, and they don't want you to fly drones here. Makes sense, right? But you can still fly a drone outside of there, right? In the same way that you go to the zoo, do you want to look at the lion while you are inside of the lion's cage? No, you want to step back, be behind the bars where it's safe, and launch your drone in this instance, right? Same thing here. I am way far away, and I like that view far away because look at how much I was able to capture. I got Honolulu on the right, I got the sun rising on the left. This is a beautiful story, and one of the things I love about a drone is that it helps to tell the story. It helps to give the context. Thank you, James. I love these photos. So again, it's like, hey, Christine, where were you? Bam, this is where I was hiking at. And look at this view that I got to see from my eyes. And so it's a really beautiful way to help tell a story. Another example, these two photos are in Zanzibar. If I just showed the photo on the left, beautiful, right? You're like, wow, Zanzibar, you pretty. That's some awesome, beautiful water. But on the other side, it's like, hey, now I can tell this story about how I'm on a sandbar. And it's not just any sandbar, it's perfectly white sand. And look what's around me. Do you see all these people that are on the sandbar with me? No, because it's amazing because it's just me, right? It's a totally different story. Two more examples. Hey, I did this hike. Not only did I do a hike, but it was up this really humongous mountain with all of these railroad steps. Pretty cool, right? And another thing, I don't know how, tell me if you feel this way when you're looking through Instagram, TikTok, etc. Sometimes it's just like, nah, seen that, seen that, seen that, seen that. How many times do you see the selfie that's like this every single time? And you're like, okay, that's your face in just another place. Where are you? And it's fun with a drone because you can give a new perspective, a perspective that makes someone look twice, do a triple take, like, wow, that's really cool. And that's one of the things I love about a drone. You can get a perspective that's really hard to get when you're holding your camera. And I don't know about you, but I hate traveling with tripods. I'm a carry-on only kind of person. Tell me in the chat if you're carry-on only also. I'm going to touch on some of the things that I have done as a travel creator. Ooh, and I'd also love to hear in the chat how many people are travel creators or even small businesses. Because as a travel creator, I can take a beautiful photo. This is one of my favorite hotels. If anyone has ever been to Playa del Carmen, yeah, charisma. If you've ever been to Playa del Carmen, I love this hotel. This is the Hilton Playa del Carmen. And it's a beautiful story to tell about the room, but it's also a beautiful story to tell around like, wow, look how humongous this property is. In BTW, it has 2 pools. You can kind of add to your story. And not only that, as a travel creator, I have the opportunity to add a tool to my toolbox. Hey, tourism board. Hey, hotel. Not only can I take photography, not only can I create fill in the blank with all the things I can create, I can also do drone photo and video. And I'm going to tell you a very honest story here, which is when I wanted to get a drone, again, I've only been flying since January 2020. Guess what people told me? People told me don't get a drone. Don't get a drone. Every travel creator does it. They've been around forever. Everyone's doing it. And you know what? Within the first 2 months of flying my drone, I took this photo of myself kayaking in a really beautiful spot in South Florida, and it allowed me to be on the cover of a tourism board magazine. I don't know if I would have been able to do this with a regular camera. Maybe I could have, but I was really able to capture their attention with a unique point of view that captured the beauty of a place. And so I wanted to share this story because I do not think it's too late. It is absolutely not too late to get into flying drones. A lot of more people are doing it now, but think about in your own network, how many people own a drone and are a total badass at flying it, right? I don't think it's the majority of people. I don't know who you know, but I still think there's a huge opportunity to truly differentiate yourself as well as tell a really unique and beautiful story about the places you discover using a drone. And so here's another example. This is work that I did for a tourism board. I love, tell me in the chat if you swam with manatees. These are magical potato creatures that really make me feel amazing about my summer bod. But manatees are phenomenal. I was able to take photos of myself swimming with them, photos of myself with my drone on my water bike, looking at them. One of the things about them is they're kind of hard to find unless you're directly over them. Guess who found every single manatee? Me, because I had a drone. I put it up at the maximum height of 400 feet, and I could see every single manatee that is within water biking distance. If you don't know what a water bike is, just imagine like pedaling. It's like a kayak, but you're on a bike. And so that was just an amazing way to both travel and discover something for myself, as well as provide unique footage and unique photography for the tourism board. So as a travel creator, it's really worked out well for me. Let's pause really quick, and I'm still watching the chat. I love how you guys feel about checked luggage. Yes. Why you need a drone, we talked about that. I think you can hopefully feel me on both needing it as a traveler and a travel creator. We've talked about some of the things that drones have done for me. Ooh, I have one more story I really want to share. And actually, I'm going to be sharing more about this to my drone Facebook group. It's a small private group where I answer questions and share things before I share them with anyone else. And actually, there's a lot in there that I share because I live stream to that spot a lot, or to that group a lot, in places I don't share that info otherwise. But here's a really unique opportunity that came my way. Today is August 24th, and I received an email. On July 22nd. So this is less than a month ago. Oh, sorry, this is a month and 2 days ago. I received an email on July 22nd because this really unique ocean NGO that's very up and coming. They're in the works right now of raising millions of dollars in funding to help people to fall in love with the ocean and really work towards helping to create better habits of everyday people to help preserve and save the ocean. They found me because of my drone photos and videos, and they asked me to be a part of their very, very, very teeny tiny creative collective team. There is not that many people on the team, but if you look at who's on the team, and I'm going to be posting about this in my Facebook group really soon, these are guys who are some of best in class for photos and videos, guys who shoot for Hollywood. These are guys who are National Geographic. These are guys who are, let's fast forward. That happened about a month ago. 3 weeks ago, they asked me to fly to Bonaire to shoot content for them with the team. I got to fly to Bonaire, and I booked that ticket the next morning, and I just got back like 4 days ago. Someone tell me that you should not fly a drone, please. Like, that's amazing. And the only reason why I was asked to join is because I am a woman that flies a drone, and because I am obsessed with getting and telling beautiful stories about the ocean. And so this was an opportunity that I otherwise would never have gotten, and it's amazing. So I wanted to share that one as well. Getting sweaty because I'm getting excited. Oh, it was an amazing trip. I wonder if you guys can see how many bug bites I have on my face. I got eaten by mosquitoes. Okay, where are we going next? How to get started, right? Okay, Christine, sold. That's awesome. But how do we do this? And then, like, how do we really get into this, like, literally? So let's talk about that. But I actually want to address a couple rumors really quick. This photo, oh, I loved flying here. This is Dana Point in Southern California. I grew up in San Diego. Super fun. Oh, thank you, Sharon. I feel like I'm creative, but at the same time, and you'll learn about this more in a second. Actually, let's start it with here. Flying a drone is complicated. This is me hiding behind it on my water bike. Does anyone know how to launch a drone? How do you launch a drone? Actually, I'm going to do a quick setup in case any of you don't know how to set up a drone. If you've never flown a drone before or never seen one being flown, this is the Mavic Mini. This is a Mavic Mini. You can see it's super, super tiny, right? Fits in the palm of my hand. This thing is plastic, like super lightweight. You simply open it up. If you've seen Forrest Gump before, tell me in the comments below, but there's a scene in Forrest Gump where he sets up his gun. That's normally what I look like when I'm setting up my drone. This is really fast. This is the controller. And in this controller, I'm taking this little wire piece and I'm plugging it into my iPhone. A lot of people don't know that you are simply using your smartphone to fly your drone. And I'm simply going to attach my phone here, and then I'm opening up the DJI app. And in the DJI app, that's where all the magic happens. Ooh, San Diego in the house, Jasmine. That's where it makes it easy. Your drone will tell you, Christine, don't fly here, or your drone will tell you, it's really windy, stop flying your drone. Or the app will tell you a lot of things. It won't tell you your horoscope and it won't tell you what's for dinner, but it will tell you everything you need to know about your drone. And so you simply load it up, turn on the app, turn it on, and to launch the drone, you push a button. That's it. You push the button. And one of the biggest misperceptions about drones is that when you push the button, people think that you need to be actively keeping it in the air because otherwise it's going to crash. Once you push the button to launch it, your drone will just stay like this. It'll just stay like this until you're like, yo, drone, go to the left. And then your drone will be like, okay. No, drone, higher. Okay. Otherwise, it just hovers, right? If I could get my boyfriend to listen to me the same way my drones do, I would be like in a really good spot. That is what these consumer DJI drones are like. That is night and day difference. And this is more of an advanced thing. Please get ready for my fashion statement. This is an FPV drone. An FPV drone stands for first person view. And these goggles are allowing me to act like I'm in the cockpit of my drone. It looks like I am flying my drone, literally inside of my drone when I'm flying. This drone goes 60 miles an hour. This drone is very, very powerful. And this drone is a manual drone. In other words, this style of drone, this style of drone is the kind that you fly through things, you're doing 360s, you're flying very close to things, you're doing the crazy stuff. This drone, you need to manually keep in the air. It is a very, very big challenge. The closest example I can think of, tell me in the chat if you drive a stick shift manual car. It's kind of like that. This is going to take a little bit of time to get used to, especially if your clutch sucks. You got to, get into first gear and not try to stall out. This is your Lambo. Like this is probably your Tesla, your self-driving Tesla. That's how I feel about this drone versus this drone. So very, very different. And I want to address that rumor because so many people think that flying drones is insanely complicated when it's not. You simply push a button. So I wanted to get that out of the way in case you didn't know that. Hovers on its own. Obstacle avoidance. Ooh, Charisma, we are totally going to get into that because DJI just came out with an even less expensive, very affordable drone called the Mini SE. This drone and all drones come with different amounts of obstacle avoidance. Going back to smart drones. So if you see this here, this little thing that you see here is allowing my drone, when I have obstacle avoidance on, if I'm flying it and I accidentally get too close to the sharks in the water and I'm about to land in the water, my drone's going to be like, I'm going to go back up. Bye. And you can help your drone your drone is helping you to not crash. I want you to think about it this way. Because DJI is a consumer-friendly drone company that is geared towards, yes, adults, but also, let's be honest, children. There's a lot of safety things built into these drones that make them kind of like crash proof. So I just want you to know that because a lot of people think it's hard when it's not. And so that's one thing about how drones are easy to fly. No, the person I was flying with this past week, he was using a Google phone. It's basically any phone that can download apps. And it could also be an iPad in case you are like my mom and you can never see the screen when she's flying. You can use an iPad as well. So there are just a couple basic rules that I want to talk to you about. Actually, let's talk about the rules and let's talk about types of drones next. So I know that there's like 8 million rules written on this page and it's really complicated. No, there's 3 things. There's really 3 things you need to know about flying a drone. It's really not that complicated. We can get into more complicated stuff. Yeah, if you want to dig into the details and stuff, which I'll give you a couple more examples, but a lot of it is common sense. The first rule you need to know is that drones are at 400 feet. That's how high you can fly. 400 feet, it's really high. When you're up there and you take a picture of yourself looking down, you won't be able to recognize yourself anymore. It's really high. At 400 feet, you're basically staying away from the airplanes and other stuff. So just imagine it as your lane within 400 feet. You technically need to have what they call VOS, or visual line of sight. Visual line of sight is if you are flying your drone and all of a sudden you look up, you need to be able to see where your drone is at in the sky. In other words, you need to keep a visual line of sight. You need to be able to see your drone in the sky. A lot of these drones, this guy, for example, has a range of 10 miles. 10 miles away, I won't be able to see this anymore, right? But the rule is that you need to be able to see your drone. And it's less about sending my drone out 10 miles, but more about staying connected. You can see these little antennas. It's helping me to stay connected. In the same way, when was the last time you went into a parking garage or an elevator and you're like, can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I think I lost connection, right? Same thing with your drone. There's a lot of stuff with interference around. You will lose connection with your drone. So that's why it's important to have drones with range, not necessarily about sending it out super far. The last rule, don't crash into planes. It's kind of an easy one. Don't crash into planes as you're having visual line of sight. If all of a sudden you're in Hawaii, there's a lot of helicopters around. People love to take helicopter rides in Hawaii. You got a drone in the air. There's a helicopter coming in hot. I'm going to get out of the way. Boop, put it a little bit lower. If I put my drone at 30 feet, not only am I not going to hit someone who's really, really tall, but I'm also not going to be in the way of the helicopter. Not a big deal. Here's a couple more rules. And what I have for you on the screen are drone maps. And this might feel overwhelming, but all I want you to look at are the colors. How many different colors are there, for example, on the left? So I'm in San Diego in this place. And in San Diego, there's a lot of stuff going on. There's the San Diego airport. There's the big naval base that's down there. There's a lot of military activity. And you can see where it's red. Where it's red, it's telling you restricted. And I'm literally just tapping my finger on this map to be like, good, not good, good, nope, can't fly there. And the drone app is making it so easy for me to understand where it is and is not okay to fly. Again, as a drone pilot, I've gone through training to read all of these maps. But in the same way that in an old life, I was a personal trainer, I'm not going to talk to you about all the crazy bone structure and muscle structure. I'm going to be like, yeah, just do a squat, right? Look at the map. It's very straightforward. It doesn't need to be complicated. It will tell you. Furthermore, it won't let you. If you are in Cocoa Beach, near NASA, and you try to launch your drone, guess what? These little guys, these propellers won't even start moving. Your drone will just be like, nah, not today, buddy. There's a rocket nearby. So I don't want you to feel afraid of that. Another weird one, drinking and droning. I don't know if you know this, but you're not supposed to drink and drone. In other words, if you had a sip of alcohol and then you fly a drone, you're technically not supposed to. But in the same way that, I don't know, who's going to be checking your blood alcohol level while you're flying a drone? But I just want you to know that rule. Don't fly at night is another one. When the sun has gone down, same way when you're taking a picture, you can't really capture anything anyway. And don't spy on the president. That's a really good one. Do you think you can fly a drone anywhere near the White House? Probably not. And so I'm going to bring you through quickly just a couple examples. And again, feel free to ask me any questions in the chat. I have my eye on them. James, I thank you for appreciating my humor. I think I'm funny looking. Okay. If you're going to the bathroom and you looked out your window, would you want to see a drone? Probably not, right? Common sense. Don't fly your drone looking into people's houses. Again, there's always people out there that will ruin it for everybody, but it's common sense. If I'm flying my drone, I'm generally not spying on anyone. Yeah, I'm spying on manatees, but not people. So common sense, don't fly within your neighborhood. Don't be that guy. Here's an interesting one that confuses a lot of people. I want to fly in Yosemite. I want you to imagine having a peaceful hike in Yosemite and just put one drone in the air. Okay, that's not bad. Let's say 1,000 people put their drones in the air. All of a sudden, it will sound very, very loud, and it will not only disturb the wildlife, but it will disturb your experience of Yosemite. That's why in national parks, it is against the law to fly drones. They're trying to preserve nature, both for the animals and the people. And again, your drone map will tell you, you can't fly here. Same thing. Can you fly over a prison? Probably not. They probably think you're going to try to help someone to get out. Disneyland. Do you think Disney wants drones flying around their roller coaster with a bunch of little kids and that potentially being a hazard? Not really. In the same way that you're driving a car, when you see a police car going by with an ambulance, are you going to chase after them so you can make sure you know what's going on? No. Same thing with your drone. You're not going to try to go spy on crime scenes or chase ambulance. I don't have to keep going on with these examples, but in my opinion, it's really common sense. But a lot of people are like, well, what do you mean common sense? This is what I mean. Okay, flying a drone, scary. No, I'm going to breeze through this really quick, but I just want you to actually tell me in the chat, how old were you when you started driving a car? The first time you ever drove a car, this is me driving my car while flying my drone, BTW. I don't know how many women in the chat here ever drive with their knee while putting their hair up. It's kind of like that, flying a drone. Anyway, the first time I drove a car, I did not go to the Autobahn. The first time I drove a car, I did not go 120 miles an hour on the freeway. James, I was also 16. The first time I drove a car, I did not go somewhere complicated. I went to Charisma 18. I went to a parking lot. You go to a parking lot because it's open and easy. Do you want to know where else there's a parking lot? Nice, 15. There's a parking lot in the entire sky. Think about how high things are. And maybe tomorrow, when you're out and about, just start noticing how tall things are. If you're in New York City, for example, obviously there's a lot of buildings around. If you're somewhere that has a lot of redwoods, you got a lot of tall trees around. But generally speaking, between houses, even apartment building complexes, and trees and poles and lines, it's about 200 feet. Beyond 200 feet, if you put your drone at 200, it's not going to run into anything at all. This is easier than driving a car, in my opinion, because you're not going to hit anything up there and you have a lot of time and a lot of space to be openly flying your drone. 16 in Chicago in the snow sounds really hard, Sharon. Good for you. This is just a quick example. This is something I posted on Instagram. But I made a video about 12 different things that you can do. And a lot of people don't know this. This is very similar to child rules when you're watching TV. There are settings that you can put on your TV, right? So your kid doesn't accidentally go to the wrong channel and see the wrong thing. Your drone is the same thing. Remember I was telling you about that rule of 400 feet? You can actually put a setting into your drone that says, yo, when I hit 400 feet, tell my drone to stop or give me a warning. Or you can put a little thing on your drone that's just like, things that help you, right, to not accidentally do something wrong. And so there are all of these settings, and I just want you to know that there are a lot of ways to fly safely without you having to consciously think about it. My mom flies my drone all the time. She's really, really good. The only time she did terrible was the time she forgot her glasses and she could not see anything. Okay, let's talk about which drones to get. And I talk a lot about this, but you've been hearing me talk a lot about DJI drones. And I want to give a couple examples because one thing that I do is not only do I fly my own drones, but I try to get my hands on as many other people's drones as possible. And I know someone in the chat doesn't have a DJI drone. And there's a reason why I'm an advocate for DJI drones. I have no affiliation with them or anything like that. But it's mainly because they are so consumer friendly. And that's what really differentiates them in the ease of being able to fly a drone. So I'll give you some examples in a second. But what you see on the screen is me giving, yes, I'm sitting in a sauna. It was the most comfortable place to sit filming this video, but I created this video that talks about the 3 drones that I have and also why I have them, but which ones I would recommend for you. And so the way I think about it is kind of like a lot of people ask me, oh, which drone should I get? Like which DJI drone should I get? The Mavic Mini 1 is this guy right here. And the Mavic Mini 2 came out in the last year and is the step up, significant step up to this drone. The Mavic Mini 2 does things with photo and video and quality that this drone does not do, but is only at a $50 price point more. So my drone was $399. The Mavic Mini 2 is at $449. This is the drone that I recommend to 99% of people who talk to me about drones. One of the ways that I talk about, okay, should you level up and get the Mavic Air 2 or the Mavic Air 2S? And the way I think about it is it depends on what kind of advanced functions you want. Tell me in the chat if you have an iPhone. Simone's super smart using parking lot or park near your house. Think about how you take a picture with an iPhone. When you take a picture with your phone, do you just put it in camera mode and then start snapping photos? Or for the iPhone specifically, do you put it in portrait mode and then do you shift through the different kinds of light, contour light, maybe today is stage mono light, and that's how I'm going to take a picture? Or when you take a photo, iPhone 12, Carrie, nice, that's a great phone. I'm curious, Carrie, did you go to your camera settings and did you change it to always shoot in 4K? And did you always change it so that your photos are taken in the highest quality on your phone? And did you change it so that it stays in the highest quality on your phone versus sending it to the cloud and keeping the lowest res one on your phone? If you're like, what the heck are you talking about right now? Mavic Mini, get the Mavic Mini. It's an amazing drone. But if you're like, oh yeah, I totally follow along, Christine, to everything you're saying, heck yeah, I do all those things, then yeah, you need to level up, because this drone, which the Mavic Air 2 drone, we'll get there in a second, this drone is at a price point of $799. With the Mavic Air 2S, it's step up at $999. These are the two camps of drones that the majority of travelers and travel creators are at, in my opinion. If you are a pro photographer, we'll talk about that in a second, because I flew a pro drone this past week. This guy will get you what you need to get. If you love taking great photos and videos, bam, sold. This guy, if you follow along with my whole, yeah, I take portrait mode. Yeah, all my videos are in 4K off of my phone. Yeah, I keep the highest quality. Yes, I know what contour stage light is. Boom. This guy, the panoramic photos, the advanced techniques, the point of view flying, the follow me drone, this goes on for a long time. This drone will do a lot for you, and it does more than you need, in my opinion, for people starting out flying drones. I've been flying this drone for about a year. This drone, for me, because I care about a lot of quality and a lot of advanced techniques, this drone, after 4 months, I wanted to throw out the window. Got this guy. This is what I fly 99% of the time. This one, I barf all the time when I fly it. Literally, it makes you really, really sick. That's a whole other story. Tell me in the chat if you want to hear more about the FPV drone. I'm happy to chat about it. Mavic Air, such a good drone. I love that, a little vanity. This is the drone that just recently came out, $299. I have a secret for you. Even though I use this better drone and it takes a lot of advanced types of photos and videos, the majority of the time I am shooting in 2.7K. If you don't know what that is, I don't want to assume. It's the quality of the photo and the video. I shoot in 2.7K because 4K photos and videos, if I'm on a job, if I'm working for a tourism board, if I'm working for the Ocean Conservatory Company, yes, I'm shooting in 4K. But on the regular, I'm shooting 2.7. That is perfect for Instagram, perfect for TikTok, perfect for YouTube. That's all I need. Sharon, yes, you can set if you have your drone in follow mode, you can set your controller down and it will continue to follow you. Awesome. But I do shoot in 2.7K. So the DJI Mini SE, this drone just came out. It shoots in 2.7 and it has all of the qualities of the amazing Mavic Mini. I am amazed at this price point. And to be honest, even if you wait, I think it will only get cheaper, in my opinion. The technology is moving so fast. The demand is moving so fast. More and more people are getting into it and they're looking into lower and lower price points, which let's talk about that really quick. because there are two drones that I flew in the last month that I just want to share my opinion. I support you if you get a non-DJI drone, but I just want to share with you a couple experiences I had. This is the Parrot Bebop. I believe, tell me in the chat if you know it, but I think it's Verizon that made this drone. They have discontinued this drone and they are no longer making other drones. Part of the reason why I don't recommend this drone, and it's not, the quality is fine, it shoots in 1080, it hovers and maneuvers just like this drone, but it lacks every single piece of safety in there that the DJI drones have. Again, DJI has its eye out for kids messing up and doing things. A discontinued drone is not going to be updating their app with all the latest safety features and telling you that you are right next to an airport. You can launch this drone from anywhere and potentially have a really bad mistake. Not only that, there are no obstacle sensors. So if you are flying a DJI drone and there is a tree, your drone will be like, ha ha, ah, stop, we ain't going nowhere. This drone will be like, tree. And so I didn't really enjoy that when I was flying this drone. Otherwise, it was fine. Here's another example. I flew with somebody. This woman is a badass scuba diver. And she was scared to fly drones because a lot of people have misperceptions. She was really scared of flying drones. And so her idea was to go buy the cheapest drone and then practice so that when she buys the nicer drones, she's ready to rock and roll. And that mindset, I totally understand. It makes sense, right? You kind of want your practice round before you get out there, fist flying, ready to go. And so she bought this drone. She was able to get this drone for $75. And when I met up with her, she's like, do you want to fly my drone? And she launched it. And I was like, whoa, that does not at all fly like a normal drone. Her drone cannot take not even 1 mile per hour of wind. To put that in perspective, this smaller drone can take about 17 to 19 mile per hour winds, which is a lot. I have flown this in Ethiopia at 9,000 feet of elevation in 40 mile per hour winds. Yes, it hated my guts, but it did fantastic and I got phenomenal shots. This guy has taken on 45 mile per hour drones in Hawaii, no problem. This one, I could probably fly into a tornado and nothing would happen. Her drone, 1 foot off the ground with a small 3 mile per hour wind, flung that thing across the park faster than I have ever seen. It did not fly at all like a normal drone. And I share this story because I was like, stop, land your drone, stop. Well, she crashed it at that point. I was like, go get your drone, fly my drone. And I'm like, I'm not even going to show you how. Just, I put the controller in her hands. I let her fly it. 5 minutes later, she hands it back to me. And I was like, what's wrong? She's like, oh, she picks up her phone. She's like, ordered it. And I'm like, exactly, right? She ordered the drone on the spot. She's like, this is nothing like what I thought it would be. And so that was one of the reasons why. Yes, Sharon, you can tell when it's not wind friendly because you will get notifications on your drone that says wind warning. And on my channel, I talk about how to fly in high winds, or if you accidentally find yourself in high winds, things you can do. And a quick preview to that. So you get a wind warning. Let's say you're up there. The wind is higher the higher up you are. So the quick things that I do when I'm flying in windy situations is that I will bring the drone as low as I can, but still above all of the things around me. I will put it, and each drone has different speeds. This drone, for example, has 3 speeds, slow, medium, and fast. Let's just call it that. And I will put it in the fastest speed and fly it back to me as quickly as possible. And so that's just one example. Or if I know I'm going out, for example, when I was in Ethiopia, I will fly against the wind first, because flying against the wind is using way more power. It's burning my battery really fast so that I can go get my shots. And when it's time to come home, in the same way you're kayaking with the current, fly it back with the wind, and it'll come back without having to use as much battery. And it can give you a little bit more of a safer flight. Thoughts on expensive drones? If you were listening to my iPhone example and you're like, yeah, I just like the regular photos. even for me, I feel like I wouldn't call myself an advanced professional photographer, but I would say I know a thing or two or 10 about having a good eye and being able to get very good photos and videos. For example, I have been shooting with a filter. This is not just an ND filter, but this is a polarized filter. That's an example of how I care about the photos and videos that I come out with. What that's doing is it's affecting the amount of light and the speed of the shutter for my drone and takes a different kind of visual based off of the type of video I was taking in Bon Air. That to me felt pretty advanced. The pro drone, the pro photographers I was with, they had many of these in their luggage. So I was like, yo, can I fly one? And when I was flying this drone, when I was looking at it, I was just like, is this in English? Like, what am I looking at? Flying the pro drones brings it to a completely new level. If you are a professional photographer who is constantly looking at white balance, who's constantly looking at shutter speed, changing the ISO, all of those things, then yeah, you're going to want a pro drone. It's like shooting with the best DSLR that's out there. For me, as a travel creator who is hired by lots of different people, guess what the majority of the time I'm shooting my trip with? My phone, my drone, and my GoPro, because I take it underwater. That is how this girl makes magic happen. I don't want you to think there's like a bunch of crazy tricks under my hat with like really expensive gear. I like to keep it simple. So that's my thought on expensive drones if you're there. Okay, we got 8 minutes. I hope you guys are having fun with me. Make sure you send any comments, questions, whatever you have in the chat. I'm there for it. Yes, Sharon, point and shoot. A recap of what I have for you. I have 40 YouTube videos. Actually, I think I have 43 now. I have 43 videos on my YouTube channel. All of that, just like the rest of YouTube, free 99 plus tax, right? I really care about making drones easy. I hope you felt that today. I am very passionate and very sweaty right now talking about drones. Oh, love drones. But I do the YouTube tutorials. I have my Facebook group. All of this info is on the Color Me World website that I put on my webpage. I'll show the link in a second. I also have a full Instagram guide. I love providing helpful tips on Instagram, but that's there for you as well. And then keeping up with my email, like I do. So actually this weekend, woo, if you're in San Diego or in Southern California, I am doing a free drone meetup. And you can come and I'm bringing my drones. Come fly my drone. If you have one, I'll show you some tips around how to fly yours, or you can show me tips. Or otherwise, just fly my drones. They're super fun. I'm bringing all of my batteries. FYI, battery life on drones is around 15 to 25 minutes, depending on how you're flying it. So it's not that much time. But I'm bringing all my drones. I'm putting on this workshop so people can fly with me for free. And I'm also giving away this drone, help it find a new home, so that I can get the Mavic Air 2S, which is the drone that I really, really want. So that's that one. Got my drone, now what? I know a few of you have drones in the chat. When you buy your first drone, do you recommend traveling everything you need packaged? They sell you the drone itself. That's a really great question, Carrie. I actually want to address that really quick because a lot of the prices I'm talking about are for the drone alone without the package. And when I say the package, what I'm referring to, I have a package. Sorry for that noise. This is a package. So my Mavic Air 2, I bought as what they call the Fly More package. The Fly More package comes with the drone, but it also comes with, it comes with a few of those filters. It comes with a few of those filters, which are just regular filters. I went on and purchased the advanced polarized filters, but it comes with a set of filters. It comes with this little handy dandy bag. And I want you to be aware, these drones, they fold up really tiny. They're not taking up a lot of space. Again, I'm a carry-on only kind of girl. This all fits in this bag. So it comes with the bag, which I think is fine. If you don't get the bag, I mean, I bought this case. You can see my little pencil case. This fits my Mavic Mini. I bought this off of Amazon for, I think, $12. If you go to my Instagram link that says vlog like me, I don't keep any secrets. You will see every single thing I have purchased, and they're all linked in there, but it's like $12 for that case. It comes with the controller, But the key thing that the Fly More package comes with, Carrie, is extra batteries. And again, these batteries are around 15 to 25 minutes, depending on how you're flying, conditions you're flying in. But the batteries are the key thing. If you buy the batteries alone, they can cost you anywhere from like $50 to $60 per battery. So they add up. If you're someone who's just like, yeah, I just kind of want to fly a little bit, then yeah, just get the drone alone. It comes with one battery. You're fine. If you're like me, and I am sending my drone multiple times because I'm on location, I'm in a beautiful place, I need to get at least 50 shots, yeah, I need all these batteries. I need as many batteries as I can get. And then it comes with things like, some of them come with propeller guards. If you go bowling, imagine having bumpers up. Same thing, again, different ways to help you fly a little bit safer. If you have a drone, I look at a lot of drone photos and videos by other travel creators, and I'm within a second, I can tell what's right or what could have been improved around a lot of the shots. And so there's just a couple of things I want to share with you, because I don't want you to think a drone suddenly creates phenomenal photos and videos. It's still a camera. It's still a camera. And for some reason, a lot of people who fly drones think that all of a sudden the shot is amazing, when you still need to be a good photographer. So a simple thing that I wanted to add here was, if you fly a drone, make sure you know what you want someone to be looking at. Make sure it's still a well-composed photo or video. The second thing, you don't need to fly fast. The number one problem I see people doing when they fly a drone is that they will fly maximum speed. When you're in your car and the light turns green when you get in your car tomorrow, are you going to press the gas pedal to the metal because it's time to go? No, you're going to ease into it. It's the same thing when flying a drone. There's no reason to fly it in its maximum speeds all the time. When you're looking at Instagram stories and someone's like, look at what I'm looking at right now, isn't that so cool? You're like, wow, I'm going to go take a Dramamine and a Tylenol and have 3 glasses of wine now that I'm sick and have a headache. Same thing, fly slower. The third one, location scout. This is a really important one because so many people, Simone, I just purchased them off of Amazon. I've also used Best Buy. And that's in instances where I want to pick it up because I'm traveling somewhere and I am often homeless because I'm a gypsy and I just need to pick it up. So Amazon and Best Buy for me. And I have links in the Color Me World website that I put on my website. Okay, location scout. A lot of people accidentally use their drone, send it, go look at what's cool, and then go take the shots. Problem with that is with limited battery time, it means that you have lost all that battery life when you could have just used Google Maps or Google Earth. I love using Google Maps on satellite, and you can already see with a top-down view what your drone will look at. And so that's a great way to location scout, so you know where to park your car, where to ride your bike to, where to fill in the blank, walk to, and have location scout in advance. Sharon, that's a great question. I'm not recording the whole time. I am flipping between photos and videos, and I am alternating between the two based off of my shot list. But that's another big mistake I see people doing, which is they take a long video. And I would say the majority of my videos are 15 seconds. That might shock you, but 15 seconds. Why? Instagram stories, 15 seconds. Generally speaking, the shot that you need, even for YouTube, when I'm telling stories, 15 seconds. It's not a whole lot. And so those are some of the things. Oh, I could talk about drones for hours, and I know we're out of time, but like I said in the beginning, I would love for you to connect with me. If you go to christinelozada.com/colormeworld, I have my free drone downloads. I have info about the giveaway that I'm doing. It's open for 1 more week. And then links to all of the drones that I talked about that I recommend. And if you are new to the Color Me World community, if you sign up using the code drone23, you will get a discount on your membership. And they are an awesome community. I think I already shared with you in the beginning why it was really important for me to talk about drones to this community, because for me, drones is about freedom. It's a very, very empowering thing. And it's really important to me to get more drones in the hands of people that are, I don't know how to put this kindly, more diverse. How's that? More people that look diverse. So I've had so much fun with you guys today. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope to hear from you after this. And if you have any questions that come up later, I ain't going nowhere aside from all over the world, which is close. Christine Lazada only, no J, but you all know that. So thank you so much. And Charisma, thank you so much for having me. I hope you guys all have a fantastic night, and I will see ya hopefully out there flying drones soon. Ciao, ciao, ciao.
Thank you. That was awesome. I appreciate you so much. Man, I learned so much. Yeah, everyone, feel free to, go ahead and grab your membership. If you don't have it already, it's 50% off. Really cool deal. And we look forward to seeing you in the community with a whole lot more information and lots of love. Thanks, girl.
Thanks, Charisma. See y'all later. Ciao, ciao.